both us, the Commonwealth, and also the jurisdictions involved. So look, to finish, can I say that the agenda I've outlined earlier is quite an ambitious agenda, and all of you who've either met or had the opportunity to work with the Prime Minister knows that ambitious is a sort of interesting term to use with the Prime Minister. He's more than ambitious. He really does push things hard, and the response to the GFC has been part of that. But if you look at the three elements of the government strategic agenda, A, it's real. They do have quite a detailed strategic agenda going forward around those three themes and objectives. But B, it's also an agenda which is somewhat yet to be formed, where, like this morning, there's a strong interest by where the Commonwealth engages, but looking for how best that's done. So a lot of work to be done by agencies such as mine. So all of that strategic agenda, as well as the immediate pressure to roll projects out, means quite a few challenges for my department. And they're real challenges which the Commonwealth has not well handled in some cases in the past, and which requires different approaches in many ways. For instance, I'm now working with GHD, who's working with my department to set up for the first time a dedicated project management office and detailed systems, which the Commonwealth hasn't previously had for some time, about how we manage projects. And that's important for us to actually have the proper systems and project management approaches which we as a Commonwealth need to be able to take the greater role in project development, scoping and management, which this government requires of us, which is different to how we've managed our infrastructure investment programs in the past. But that's a work in progress for us at the Commonwealth level, but important. And also, recently I've asked Paul Forward, who many of you will know, to undertake a strategic audit of my organisation. And there are many of you in this room who Paul will be talking to in the coming weeks to firstly identify what are the real expectations and issues that my department needs to manage, and importantly have a look at what my capabilities are in terms of delivering the government's agenda and how I best structure and resource and develop my agency going forward. So Paul's kindly undertaken to do that work for me over the next couple of months, which gives me an opportunity to shape my department in the light of the sort of strategic challenges I've outlined today going forward. But as part of that also, the third element of that, as well as developing my own in-house skills and getting people like Paul to come and assist me about future direction, is also about really today with meeting people with yourselves, the industry, because a lot of the direction I'm going to need to take in my agency and the Commonwealth's going to need to take is going to require quite different relationships with the industry in terms of the sorts of people that I bring into my organisation and I work with. And for instance, I'm talking to a number of players in this room about how I better work with industry in terms of future secondments or bringing people to work with the Commonwealth for a period. I think there's great advantage in senior industry people with project management and policy skills in the private sector coming to work in a public sector environment for a period. And I think we need as a public sector to try and find ways to allow that to happen, much more so where we get the crossover of private sector expertise and skills and learnings coming in, and also the benefit of people seeing how government works as important reforms both for us and also I think for the private sector understanding government, particularly for a lot of the issues that have been discussed here today about what are the motivators, what are the drivers, and what are some of the risk strategies that government and risk drivers that government has. So that's the sort of thing I've been talking to with IPA about, and I'd like to do more of, and with firms about how can I best draw on the private sector expertise and how can we fashion partnerships with the private sector about engaging people, as I say, on secondments or short-term postings or contracts with us to actually develop a stronger relationship between my department and the private sector community. But overall, can I say again, it's been a great pleasure to be here today, and certainly a great pleasure for me to have the opportunity to work again in the transport and infrastructure portfolio in what I think is an unprecedented and very exciting time. So thank you.